How you doing?
Good, good. I don't see John.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
You'll see me shortly when I'm presentable.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
You'll see me shortly when I'm presentable.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Sharon. Hello, I'm Elliot Eisenberg.
Hi, Elliot. Yeah, I play mahjong with your wife sometimes.
You do? Okay.
I do. She beats me all the time.
Does she? She beats me all the time too.
Is she coming tonight, Elliot?
She is.
She is?
Who is?
Can I get someone here on this?
Hi.
Hi, Roz.
People are muted.
If you tap on the screen, a red microphone comes down.
Yep, I got that.
Okay.
So good to see you.
Hi.
Are you safe and all in one place?
We're safe and in some place.
Welcome to this beautiful weather.
Oh, I know. Well, they were getting bad weather when we left. So
Nobody moves to New Hampshire weather.
I don't mind New Hampshire weather. I was a little envious when you guys were getting snow and I wasn't.
Well, you
We didn't
already
get too much snow
know
this winter.
there's no perfect place. It's what's there that makes it special.
We're New Englanders at heart. We've learned that. I'm sure there was a reason we went there, but haven't really figured that out yet, but we're glad to be home.
Well, welcome. I can't wait to see you in person.
I know. God knows when that will be.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you? You
Good.
look beautiful.
Yes, you
Always.
do.
Sharon, hi Sharon, hi Rosin.
Hi.
Good. Oh, hi.
Let me find Carol. I'm sure she'd like to be here. Other chair.
Here's the purple chair. Okay. Oh, that's a good picture. Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm glad to be home.
Well, we're glad to have you home.
Thanks. It's yeah. Wish it was cleaner here than it is everywhere else.
Where are you, Sharon?
We're
Hello.
in New Hampshire. We got in Sunday. We're staying at the residences at Daniel Webster,
Oh,
across from the Budweiser plant.
yeah, I know where it's just down the road from me.
Oh, good. Good. Well, we're here for 2 months while we look for a house.
Oh, what a time to be looking.
Indeed. Indeed. But nonetheless, here we are.
Maybe the housing market will be good.
I don't know. A few weeks ago, it was, stuff was on the market one day and sold the next.
Mhm.
And people were over, multiple bids and whatnot. But
Really?
hopefully we're
What
What's that?
community are you looking for? Which
well,
town?
we'd like to be in Nashua, of course, but Nashua prices have gone so overboard.
Really?
Yeah, they have. So I don't know if we're gonna, I mean, what's available in Nashua are older homes that need a lot of work, don't have air conditioning, and that's one of our top 5. They're just, there aren't many of them, but it could all change. Where did everybody else go?
Yep, waiting for Rabbi John. Our leader, our host.
Our leader.
I thought he wanted to get on early to go over things.
I see his name.
Yes.
So that must mean any moment.
You see his name? Oh, yeah. Well, maybe,
How are your kids, Cheryl? Is everybody okay?
Yeah, we just see each other in screenshots.
Yeah.
I kiss my phone a lot.
Yeah.
How's the baby doing?
He's 11 pounds.
Wow.
Hit this button up here. You can see the
Wonderful.
buses on.
Still a little guy for his age, but
Uh-huh.
No, we don't know.
growing and he's
Thanks.
he's
Anyway.
doing-
I was waiting for the rabbit to get in.
having more of a personality.
They can't hear us.
Correct.
They can because they can see the thing moving up and down. It's
I don't even see a spot for Rabbi.
Oh yeah, I see it. Jonathan Spirasavet.
yeah,
I have it underneath Roz. It depends how big your screen is.
Yeah, I'm on an iPad, so.
oh,
Oh,
10, 15. We got 18 windows open right now.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I've only got 9.
There should be an arrow to go to the next screen, like on the right side of your screen, like an arrow.
Yeah.
If you go over there, you'll see more windows.
Yeah, or if you just make your dialog box bigger.
Yeah, make sure it's all the way full screen.
How do I make my box smaller?
Well, you use your little pointer, your mouse.
What, now
You
we
just
got
drag the box to make it bigger.
Okay.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi.
Who?
Oh, there.
On everybody. Yeah.
Our host. So wait, I just have a
Hi.
couple of technical questions.
Yeah.
So right before I introduce the song, you're going to play the song from your computer, correct?
Yeah. So what do you see right now on the screen?
I see lots of faces.
I see a picture of Genoa 1947.
Yes, we see that too in Ruthie's memories.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay, so I guess I'm seeing something different than other.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay.
All right. And now, hang on.
He wants us to see that.
How about now?
For
Yeah.
the Yom HaShoah service.
Do you hear this too?
Yes.
Okay.
We hear it. Hi, this is Jed speaking. We hear it, but it's really soggy. Is there a way to play the audio directly from the computer?
I am playing it.
Like through share computer sound?
I'm not sure what you're asking, Jed. I can.
Oh.
I think you're just going to have to, you are playing it through computer sound.
I am sharing it. Yeah, I'm sharing it through Zoom.
Right.
It
should be an option on your share screen.
Yeah. So tell me what you're asking. So if I were to. Oops. Jed, what do you think?
Well, it's something, but it's not the native sharing of sound. Somewhere in your share screen settings, do you have an option to share the sound also?
Yeah, let me see. Shares. Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you.
If you do that, I think we hear it much better.
Let's try it now.
Mute, it just came in. Okay. Bye.
All right, let's, let me.
That sounds much, much better to us.
Much better.
Was
Yeah.
that better?
Much better.
Yes.
Then, Rabbi John, did you get my attachment that had all the list of the people who were singing and plus?
Yeah,
it
I put that in. I put that into the.
Okay, because that had some, Jed had wrote some beautiful words and I wanted people.
Yeah, they're all in there. Is Ruth in here yet?
Doesn't have to.
Oh, Ruth is waiting for me.
By John, Ruth is having trouble logging on.
Okay, dokes. I will, let me,
To her on the phone.
okay. All right, I'm gonna mute myself here. And
Okay, yeah, if you could call her, that'd be great. Thank you.
So we'll wait.
Sharon, so you left North Carolina?
We did.
We're here.
You know, I loved the development we lived in, and I loved the house that we lived in. And we met just generally, oh, forget it. We met such wonderful, wonderful people through the synagogue.
Oh, yeah.
But the summers and the hot heat and oppressive humidity, and the need to be closer to my family. My brother died in January.
Oh, so sorry.
And we had to get my mom set up in a residential, like assisted living. And I just wanted to be near my family.
Yeah, and that's why we moved down here, to be nearer to the.
Are you in North Carolina?
We're in Durham.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, I know, but we love it, actually.
Yeah,
Really.
it was hard to leave, especially now. I mean, I couldn't hug any of my friends or say goodbye the way I would have liked to.
Oh, that's right.
And I can't hug my oldest son. Our youngest son and his fiance came to help us drive my car home because I'm still dealing with the back problem after everything. So, they were there, and I don't know what we would have done without them. But Jason came to pick them up, and I couldn't get near him, and he had his mask on, and that's exactly what he should be doing. I wanted to hug him, but I couldn't.
Right. Well, good luck with finding a house, and you'll feel like you're at home. You don't have to adjust.
I do feel like I'm home.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yep.
A lot of nice things in North Carolina, but this is home for us.
I see he did get Ruth up on the screen, so that's Good.
Okay. Oh.
Hi, Evie.
Elliot,
Hi, Evie. How are you?
where are you?
This is the new normal.
Where are you? I don't see you here.
There he is.
Peter's somewhere.
I don't see you, Elliot.
Oh, there's Elliot.
I didn't see Kathy either. Where are you? No, you're not here. I'm from Canada.
Hi, Evelyn.
I can't see you. Who is
My
it?
cousin.
It's Philip. How are you?
Philip,
Hi,
hi.
Jane.
Hi, dear. If
It's
you-
3 Eisenbergs in a row.
Yes, it
What more
is.
can you ask?
think it's 4.
So we can get Ruth on video.
Oh, yeah, and Kathy, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't
I
count.
can't see them.
If you hit gallery, are you using a phone, Ev?
I have a gallery view, but you guys are not on it. There's other people.
Oh, there might be an arrow on the side. Click to another page. There's 3 pages worth of people
Oh.
here.
No.
Mine says Phil Eisenberg under it. I see you.
Oh, there's
Hi,
Debbie.
Naomi. I
Hello.
don't see Debbie. I see Naomi.
I
Hello.
don't see Philip
No,
or
I'm
Elliot.
looking at people.
Hi, Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Debbie, you need to press your microphone or click on the microphone. Hello, Joel.
Hello, Philip.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's
Nice
good.
to see you.
I can't see
Nice
you.
to see you too. Hello, Elliot.
Hi.
So exciting.
Thank you for the invite.
Hi.
Hi,
Joel.
Sharon.
Hi.
Welcome home.
Thanks.
Oh, Sheldon's there. No, that's not Sheldon.
Welcome home to you too.
What is Sheldon?
Sheldon's here. It says Galaxy. He must be from
Yeah.
Anybody? And Kathy, Elliot and Kathy.
Hi,
and
Nye.
don't recognize.
I can't see you guys.
Yeah, you have to keep switching pages to see everyone.
Mute, mute.
You have
I
to
see
what?
Naomi.
I see
Hello,
Philip.
Naomi.
Hi,
Hi,
Philip.
Ira.
Hi, Ev.
Philip.
Nice to
How
see
are
you, dear. I'm
Oh
good.
my
Nice to
gosh.
see you, Nye.
I don't think they.
Oh my
Jonathan, can you hear me?
gosh.
Yeah, you definitely need to juggle around here.
Elliot. Hi, Elliot. Hi,
Hi,
Kathy.
Noreen.
Hi.
I see Ellen.
Hi, Shell.
Elliot, how come I can't see Philip?
Oh, four
I see
pages.
Philip and Elliot on the same page.
Yeah, it kind of switches people around as they come on. Hello, Rachel, dear. How are you?
Where's Rachel?
Hi, Becky and Alan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, this is Jim Leonard. Can anybody hear me?
Jim, I can hear
Hi,
you.
Jim.
Okay, good.
Hi, Jeannie.
Let's go find Jim.
Hello, Emily or Daniel, whichever one you are. Hi, Dan. How are you, bud?
Hi, Jim. Hi, Julia.
That's Debbie. Debbie's not even talking to us. Debbie.
Anybody else in my family see Philip and they don't see your girls
Debbie.
and they don't see
Do you see Daniel? He's listed under
I
Emily,
don't see-
Daniel, and Eve.
Philip or me.
No, I don't see them.
Hi.
I've got my
Alan. Oh, it's been so long. Is that Jordana or is it Sherry? Jordana.
I see these are all the
I'm
people.
Mary.
Oh,
I
How
saw
are
Mary.
you?
oh,
Good to
there's
see you.
Sister Paula. Hi.
Hi, Sister Paula.
Still haven't seen us.
There's the Leonards.
Galaxy's here.
See you, Leonard.
Sheldon.
Okay, you see us, okay.
Yeah,
It's under Galaxy.
we have to keep switching the screens to find everybody.
Right.
Right.
Who is that
Sheldon-
home? It's a black screen.
Elliot, are Sheldon, Larry, and Philip there?
Hi, Noreen,
I'm-
Mitch.
I'm here.
Hi, Noreen.
Sheldon is here, and I'm here, and Elliot's here.
Sheldon, I only see you and Kathy.
I see you and
Mary's
Philip.
here.
Oh, there's Becca.
There's
Kathleen.
Mary.
And
everyone.
And Alan.
I heard you.
Julie.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jared.
Hi.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
It's Carol and Phil.
Carol and Phil.
Ah,
Marty and Jeannie, how are you guys?
oh, look who's there.
Over here.
Julie.
Hello.
Hello, Julie. Oh, gosh.
Oh, there
Hi,
they
Helen.
are.
Where's Marcia and Rachel?
I don't know if they're here.
Oh, I thought they were.
Rachel's here.
Rachel's
Rachel.
there. Rachel's there.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Diane. Hi, Jen.
Oh, of course.
See
right.
Rachel.
Where's,
Hi.
I don't see her.
The host.
Rachel's here.
That's not Rachel.
There's Jen. Hi,
Carol.
Hi, Jaffies.
Sister Paula.
Sorry, can
Boudin,
anybody see?
hello.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
Rachel.
Well, thank you.
Rachel.
Hi.
Where's Rachel?
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, Cheryl.
Judy.
Judy.
Evelyn, can you see us now?
Oh,
Yes, I can
she's
see you.
adorable.
I see you.
Oh,
Elaine Brody, hi.
Hey, Joel.
Hello, Mrs. Goldsmith. Mrs. Brody.
There's Joel, Judy.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hi, Elliot.
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing.
There's the baby.
This right here.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. To move screen. Yeah, I did.
Ruth, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Great. Stay where you are. All right, I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna unmute Cheryl now as well.
Okay.
And Cheryl, let's talk.
Okay, so do you want me to get started?
Yeah, should we do that?
Yeah, so everyone else should have their mic off.
So
right
I've muted, at the moment, I've got everybody muted except for you and Ruth, and I will, I think Sister Paula is open if she's here.
Yes.
And then, is there anybody else who should be open?
Yeah,
Well,
Rabbi, I'm trying again with her iPad, so can you let us in?
Yeah. I'm doing-
Thanks.
So Elliot will be speaking before Ruth.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and unmute. Elliot, you can turn yourself on if you want, and then.
Can you see my mom right now on her iPad?
Hang on a sec, I'll tell you, there's a lot of folks on the screen, and yes.
Oh, no, she. I
Yeah.
don't-
Great, so now you unmuted her, good.
Oh, there she is, okay.
Ruth, can you talk?
Say something, Mom.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi. Good.
Ah, hey.
Okay.
I just want to say, on the chance that any of you are also have two devices, although Ruth should do whatever she needs. If you're also watching the live stream, it's 20 seconds behind us. So turn the speaker off on any other thing, although we shouldn't be hearing any of you anyway, so that's good. And I will just turn things over to Cheryl. We're on.
All right. Okay, a lot of you know me, but for those who don't, I'm Cheryl Rich Kern, and I've been organizing this remembrance of the Holocaust for about 25 years, and for the last couple of decades with the help of Riviera University. So we're gathering digitally in a period where digital testimonies by survivors are going to be all that we have, because the adults who lived through this horrific chapter of Jewish history are few, and they're hard to find. So when I first started to think about how to coordinate this event virtually, I thought I could somehow connect the circumstances of our quarantine with what happened 80 years ago when Jews and anyone who did not fit the profile of an Aryan nation had to hide or risk being murdered. But the epiphany is there's actually just no comparison. We may have to wear a mask, but we don't have to hide who we are. And we may limit our points of contact to stay safe, but we can rely on all those courageous individuals at the supermarkets and hospitals who keep us fed or take care of us when we're sick. And yes, people are dying from COVID-19, and it's tragic and it is sad, and I wish it wasn't happening. But these deaths are not at the hands of an organized entity like the Nazis, who sought to exterminate, well, they did exterminate an entire race and wipe out a culture that we only understand through books or music or theater. So during this quarantine we're experiencing, we can talk to each other by phone or video like we're doing now. So I might argue that our collective voices are stronger, because our mutual isolation amplifies what is pure and what is important to us. So tonight, one of those priorities is remembering. Remembering what happens when we don't speak up against hatred and bigotry. Remembering lessons from history, so we ask ourselves, how do we react today when human rights are threatened? To help us do that, we're going to hear from Revere University President Sister Paula Bewley and Temple Beth Abraham congregant Elliot Eisenberg, and our featured speaker, Ruth Eisenberg. And I will let Elliot introduce his stepmom when we get to her. So we're going to kick off this virtual event with what has become a tradition, the Nashua Interfaith Choir singing Ani Me'amin, a traditional Hebrew song which comes from the 12th century Jewish Articles of Faith, translated as I believe. Jed Holland, and I thank you very much, Jed Holland, mixed this audio clip from individual contributions. The song, sung by many Holocaust victims, still serves as a beacon of hope for the future of mankind. And Rabbi, you can play the song now.
Ani
beautiful.
Very beautiful.
So I'm going to let Sister Paula speak from Riviera University, and thank you for joining us and speaking.
Cheryl, thank you. It is a privilege to join you all. And so, dear friends, this evening we gather to mourn the sins of the past and the shameful crimes known as the Holocaust. It is a stain on humanity itself. We gather this evening so that we can remember, aided by the power of stories, as shared this evening by Ruth Eisenberg. We need these stories, as painful as they are, to maintain our vigilance and to shake our consciousness into action. These stories of courage and faith are ever more cherished in these days as the raw edge of religious hatred and persecution remains in our world, ever ready to spark. May our ideals be ever renewed this evening, and may we again join our voices as one human family and cry, never again, never forget. And to all this evening, shalom.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to let Elliot introduce his stepmom.
Good afternoon. My name is Elliot Eisenberg, and I am the son of 2 Holocaust survivors. Thank you for joining this Yom HaShoah commemoration program. My mother, Luba, of blessed memory, was born in Poland in 1927. My mom was 12 years old when the Nazis invaded Poland. She survived internment in 4 concentration camps: Leipzig, Skarżysko, Buchenwald, and Buna. She lost her mother, father, 4 sisters, and 2 brothers to the death camps. My father, Yechiel, of blessed memory, was born in 1922. My dad was 17 years old when his world was destroyed by the invasion of Poland by the Nazis in 1939. My dad had his father, 3 sisters, 3 brothers murdered in the Shoah. My father of blessed memory survived 3 years in a slave labor camp, Skarczowice, Poland. He endured unspeakable horror until he and his brother Milech of blessed memory escaped and made their way back to Ivansk, their hometown. At this time, Ivansk was relatively safe under the control of the Russians. My parents felt that by surviving the Holocaust, they helped defeat the Nazi evil plan, the final solution. They came to America and raised 4 sons. Eventually, they had 4 sons, 7 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. Their family was their greatest accomplishment, providing them with pride and joy. It is my honor to introduce Ruth Eisenberg, a Holocaust survivor. Ruth and my father of blessed memory would have been married 27 years this month. They shared many similar experiences from the Shoah. Ruth, over the past 27 years, has become the beloved matriarch of the Eisenberg family. Throughout Ruth's life, she has remained a positive, happy, life-loving, family-oriented woman. Ruth never harbored any ill will towards anyone, despite what she had endured. Ruth will now share her story and has graciously agreed to answer questions afterwards. Ruth Eisenberg.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Ruth.
I will start that I am very inexperienced because I just started to volunteer at the Holocaust Museum in DC very recently, and we had to shut everything down. So you have to forgive me I will be reading my story, as it is very difficult to get your thoughts together at this time because it's a terribly sad day for me. So please forgive me for reading my notes. So I will say hello to everybody, and I'm so happy that you're all joining me. My name is Ruth Ellenberg Eisenberg, and I was born in a town, Skalat, then Poland, and now it's Ukraine. My father, before the war, was in the tannery business, and he was together with his brother. We were comfortable and had enough food and clothes. My uncle and my father helped some of their siblings who needed help. My few pleasant memories before Hitler's invasion, on Shabbat, my siblings played. I was the youngest of 6 siblings. I forgot to mention that. So my few memories before Hitler's invasion on Shabbat, my siblings played a lot with me, took me for long walks, and treated me with lots of goodies. My mother of blessed memory served us dinner on weekdays without my father, since he came home very late. It was, if I was still awake when he ate, I had to sit on his lap, and I still feel his love and how wonderful it felt. In 1939, Hitler and Stalin divided Poland, and our area was under Soviet rule. The Germans occupied my town in July of 41, and through pre-war trading connections, we joined with the Sass family, who were good friends of ours. The Sass family knew many Gentiles in the surrounding villages. It was through these contacts that we survived. In those most horrible days in 1941, everyone was trying to design a hideaway in their home that would not be detected by the Nazis. When they conducted their searches for such places during the action, that meant getting Jews out of hiding and gathering in shuls to be transported to death camps. We had a hideaway in our cellar. On October 1942, my town endured the bloody tragedy called the Wild Action because of the cruelty and savagery with which the brutes carried out the deportation. Luckily, we made it into a hiding place in our cellar. My sister Malka with her husband, their baby, and my parents, my sister Miriam and Bernice. The Sass family, which consisted of their mother, 2 daughters, and 4 sons. The baby started to cry, and her parents could not calm her down. The Germans heard the crying, and they discovered the entry. No one could ever imagine that horrible panic, that you're going to the death camp. Fortunately, the Sass guys and my brother were next to the original door that had been blocked. At that desperate moment, they summoned all their strength and collapsed the wall of bricks that blocked the door. They burst through the opening, followed by my mother, my sister Bronya, and myself. Everyone ran in different directions where faith carried us. Some ran into empty houses and hid under beds, in ovens, and wherever they could. My mother and I ran into an empty horse barn, and we jumped into an empty barrel used for horse food, and covered ourselves with burlap and waited until the action was over. My 2 sisters, brother-in-law, and baby, likely babies were killed instantly, and the rest were shipped to death camp called Belgians. My father, let him rest in peace, to save himself, he stood in line with the young and fit for work. By the gate before they entered the labor camp, the Germans carried out another checkup, and those chosen unfit for work were moved aside and shot the same day. My father was among them, shot at the entrance of this labor camp Janowska. That was a miracle that I survived, To go on, you must let go of what's gone. The last horrendous action took place on Shavuot of 1943. We luckily hid in our house where the Nazis ran our tannery business. They were busy finding bunkers all over town, so we opened some wooden panels that led to a small crawl space. While hiding, the Nazis came in with bayonets to dig through the floors, and they hurt one of us, not seriously, thank God. Once more, we succeeded. The ghetto was liquidated, and all the young people were sent to a local labor camp. My sister, Bernice, smuggled me in and put me in her bed under a few covers. It had to look perfect. Luckily, I was small and thin and had to hold my breath most of the day since the Germans were on duty watching all day. That day was eternal. As I mentioned before, we were closely connected with the Sass family, who knew many Gentiles in the surrounding villages. It was through these conflicts that we made it possible for us to survive. The Sasses knew this righteous and exceptionally good-natured family, Baranovsky, who agreed to hide us. This family risked their lives for us. Mr. Baranovsky came at night to this labor camp with a horse and buggy and took two of the Sass women and my mother and myself to his house. He gave us a spot in the attic with hardly any ventilation and very little light. They fed us with whatever food they could spare. We practically shared the same breath and our bellies groaned. After the camp was liquidated, the rest of our families, that is 7 people, were hidden in this barn under the same circumstances. I'll always be grateful to the Baranovsky family for this incredible sacrifice. We remained there for as long as they could keep us. I'll never forget the worried look on their faces and sadness that dwelled in their eyes. They had no choice. We had to get out. In those days, neighbors kept eyes on each other. If they watched if a little more food was cooked, they knew that they were hiding Jews. The neighbors warned them to let us go. We had to form a new plan quickly. My brother Yitzchak, of blessed memory, and 2 of the Sass guys had decided to hike about 5 miles to the closest forest where we would hike. For the waiting period, the Baranovsky family led us to their potato fields a couple of miles from their home. We all laid in the trenches between the growing potatoes and waited for the guys to return. We waited until the following night to be able to walk to the forest and hide there. That day was eternal. Our bodies ached with cramps from remaining in the muddy field for so long. We had to be vigilant of the Nazis, Ukrainian police, and peasants. This ordeal of losing my father and 2 daughters and a grandchild affected my mother terribly. She could not eat whatever little food we had. She was getting weaker and weaker. Once a beautiful, righteous, and giving person gave up and wanted to die. To save the rest of us, we had to leave her. No one was strong enough to carry her. So a day or so later, a friend of the Baranovskys let us know that my mother died, and he buried her in the potato fields. We learned that no one can imagine the saddest feeling that you cannot visit the grave of your deceased dear ones. Deep in the forest, the boys dug a large, deep hole, and there we stayed until the onset of winter. The boys spent their nights foraging for food, mostly in the fields and gardens of local farmers. They returned before sunrise in order not to be caught. They came back with some vegetables, with some vegetables of local farmers. They returned before sunrise in order not to be caught. We cooked these veggies in a bucket of, into a soup in a bucket of water from a stream on a small campfire. We sat together on the dirt floor under a roof of bare trees and gray skies. By December 1943, the ground was covered with a white blanket. This created a big problem. How do we walk without creating footprints? These would certainly lead Nazis and the Ukrainian militia to our home. Once again, we had to rely on gentle people who would be willing to risk their lives for us. Moto says our hero had thought he had another idea. He approached family Shevchuk living in a nearby village. The father was a murderer of a Bandera gang that is a militia Ukrainian group who sought to murder Jews. No one would suspect Jews to be hidden among these murderers. He agreed to hide 5 of us, all ladies. That's my sister of blessed memory, 3 Sass ladies. There we survived the last few months of the war. Three guys brought us there to the family Shevchuk and gave them a firm warning. One of us will hopefully survive, and we will hurt you should you harm any of these women. Mr. Shevchuk must have held these words earnestly. Every night we watched him leave in a Nazi uniform. We knew he's hunting for Jews, yet luckily his family hid us. In March of 1944, we were informed by the Shevchuks that the Soviets liberated our town. We walked home about 3 miles. Jews were slowly returning from all places to horror, finding empty homes and streets. Pure miracle. I survived to relate a little of my dark, long story. I survived because God wanted me here to tell the free world what an uncaring world did to its fellow human beings. Now, I'm the only survivor from both families. I am the lucky lady. I have 2 children, 4 stepsons, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 11 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. I feel victorious. Any questions I'm willing to try to answer.
That's quite a story. And thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna see if I could use the wave hand feature, maybe. I see Elaine's hand. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Elaine.
How did you come to the United States?
I came through many, many journeys, through many different countries. And finally, we had DP camps, mainly Germany and Italy. So we were able to smuggle through to Italy. And from Italy, I was chosen as a child. I was only 12 when I came over on a children's quota. So I came over all by myself. I still had 2 surviving, a sister and a brother, which are unfortunately gone now. But I was chosen on a children's quota. So I came over in 1947 to the USA to an uncle that came here way before Hitler. That was my mother's brother that brought me over to Massachusetts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I see David Sachs.
Hi, Ruth. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's an honor and a privilege, and I hope that you're recording this at the Holocaust Museum for posterity, because it's a tremendous story. The question I had for you in the age after the Holocaust, with so much disruption to connections and communication, how were you able to find your siblings that had survived?
Well, these siblings, my sister, I survived with one of my sisters the whole time. And my brother happened to be he was drafted to the army, and he ended up, luckily, instead of in Poland, he ended up in Russia. So he survived in Russia, and he was able to get out from there right after we were liberated. He came and he stayed with the two of us, and he took care, and we were wandering together to Italy.
Okay.
Wow, amazing. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
And you can use the raise hand feature in Zoom, or you can start, because I'm only seeing one screen at a time, and there are 99 people on here. I don't see any other questions. I have a question for you, Ruth. How do you maintain optimism with everything that you've been through?
I just feel very lucky that I was able to survive and to still get some education, which I started actually at age 12. And I just feel that God spared me from the whole family. He spared 3 of us, but I'm the youngest, and I guess I'm here the last. And God gave me 2 beautiful children of my own and 4 grandchildren. And of course, like Elliot explained, through the future family that I feel so close to, I adopted these boys and grandkids and great grandkids. So I feel very lucky and trying to keep my optimism and relate to other people. We have to be very strong to endure, because we just are a very unprivileged nation to be hated, and it's really hard for us. So I have to keep it up, and I just feel very blessed that thankfully my health is fairly decent, and hoping I can get by this right now, this horrendous thing. But I'm again positive, because what I lived through in the early 40s, this is nothing to compare. So I'm feeling lucky to have my beautiful home and water and everything, all my comforts. So I feel blessed even now.
Okay. I see Will Barry, you had a question?
It's actually his mom.
Oh.
So Ruth, thank you very much for sharing your story. I'm a child of Holocaust survivors. I very much appreciate hearing other stories. I'm wondering how you taught your children about the Holocaust, what you told them, and what you wanted them to remember.
Well, luckily, my brother was very well versed in Yiddish. So he sort of wrote about my family's, the whole family's, our own story. So our kids, then it was translated into English. So we have our own book. In fact, the rabbi had some pictures, and the book is on there. It's called Heart, what is
Beyond
it?
Belief.
Beyond Belief. So my children and the whole family, like my nieces, nephews, whoever is left, has a very good background of our what we lived through. So they know the whole stories, and they really know how to defend themselves and how to be able to, that they will be able to pass it on. I pass it on. My grandkids are very well, know about it. And it's a wonderful thing that my brother was able to write all that down, so that our family is very well educated on what we, how we endured the whole time.
Ruth, do you want me to show the pictures?
Yes, if you want to, I think it's a good idea. See, that's my grandmother and my aunt and my little cousin. This is my only picture of a brother of mine that perished, and my son is named after him. We tried to name all our kids. This picture is very meaningful. One of my brother-in-laws was in the Polish army and his family went to see him. But this is the book, now this is another book, a shtetl, Death of a shtetl. That's a book also about my town, but it's all testimonies. So it's not like a book just all about the Holocaust. It's testimonies of the people that survived. And this is a little map showing, a little bit of my place. See, this is pictures right now after the war. A very dear friend of mine, Lucia Milch, she went back and took all these pictures. See, they were taken in 1995. This still looks fairly decent.
There's the Scarlet Camp building.
Yeah, this is the camp building. You can see how dilapidated. And this is the main synagogue. Look how sad, what it looks like.
Former Talmud Torah.
Yeah,
building.
that was the Talmud Torah. That was where the kids were going to school.
Diagram of the ghetto.
Yeah. This is how people went to labor, from the day camps, like they went for the day. This is mass grave, fortunately. And this is the book my brother wrote, Beyond Belief. That's the book that is really a treasure to us. And this is a Seder in the DP camp in Italy. That was after I was gone already. That had to be 1948. And this is from an art school. When my sister-in-law taught the art school, and that's where all her students. And this is the three of us. I believe that was in Italy. We sent this for a Rosh Hashanah greeting to my relatives. And this was my husband and his two brothers. My husband is on the right, and those were his two brothers, Mottel and Paul. And this is my brother when he came back from Russia, and he went to visit the city of Lviv. That's where my father was shot. And this is a picture of the Maccabi team that were playing in the camps, and my husband is all the way on the left. And here I am with this, my husband is on the left here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this picture, I think I'm somewhere, but I can't locate myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhere, I think. On here, I'm on the left.
No, on the right side.
On the right side, the second to the right, it's me and my husband. Not then. Then he was a young boy and I was a little girl.
Yeah.
This is on the left side.
Right side.
The right side, I say, yeah. Right side next to this lady.
Yeah, there you
next
go.
To
Yeah,
her.
whoever circled
Yeah,
exactly.
next to
That
her,
little
yeah.
face
Yeah,
and her
yeah.
future husband above her.
Yeah, right there, right. And all the way to the right is the lady that's responsible for translating the book that Death of a Shtetl was written in Yiddish. And this lady, Lucia Milch, is quite well off, and she translated the book into English, but it's all testimonies. We do have it at the Holocaust, but it's testimonies. And this is when I'm leaving from Italy, from the port Genoa, to come to the USA in 1947. And this is my future husband that I didn't know then. We were both kids. We were both kids then.
No.
And this is a picture that Elliot knows most of the people. It's my family and me in the front celebrating, I think it was my 17th birthday with two of my closest friends on each side. But the rest, besides those two friends, is all family. And this actually is not my wedding, it's my prom. my brother made a mistake writing that's my wedding picture. It's my prom picture.
Wow.
Oh, this is my wedding picture. This is the uncle and aunt and my two cousins that brought me over. And that's my wedding picture. And these are my grandkids because I don't have one with all of them together. I have separate ones, but these are my treasures. And this is my trip, you see, from Genoa in 1947. I had a lot of people saying goodbye to me. It was the best thing that happened to me to come here at that point, to start my education and become like, start living sort of a normal life again. I feel very blessed.
Wow.
I feel very blessed and victorious, even though it's very lonely to be the last one of the family, but to have my kids around, and as I say, my adopted kids, which are so wonderful, keeping in touch with me, my grandkids and everybody keeps me going. And this is what gives me strength. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Ruth. It was wonderful.
It's a pleasure. And thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
Very
Yeah,
generous.
Thank
of
you.
Yes.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for sharing that. It means the
Thanks,
world to
Ruth.
us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your story with all of us.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Very, very welcome. You're all very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
You're quite welcome, everybody.
Thank you dearly.
Ruth, thank you. It's Judy. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was very grateful to be able to share it. It's very inexperienced, but I tried my best.
Oh, you did very well.
You did very good.
It's a blessing for us to be able to be here with you and to hear you.
Thank you
And
so
for you to
very
share
much.
it.
Thank you so very much.
And thank you for being in our lives all these years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ruth. Nice to see you again.
We love you.
Love you.
Oh,
Be safe,
Well,
Ruth.
stay
Love you
safe.
very much.
thank you so
Stay
much,
well.
everybody.
All right. We're going to light the candles for the Kaddish. I'm realizing I can't show my face in the candles at the same time. So I'm going to move the camera so that you see the candles.
Okay.
Or thought I had this set up. Yes. You come in, Bill. Need help. I can't get this. Turn that off. Bear with us. Just want to get the, okay. So I'll start lighting. If Rabbi, if you want to start saying the Kaddish.
I'm going to chant the memorial prayer, and then after we hear that and light the candles, we can say Kaddish together. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hametzei Menucha Nefona Tachat Kanfei Ashkina B'ma'alot Kedoshim U'Tehorim Kezohar Harakia Masirim Lenishmot Kol Eile Shenisfu B'Shoah Shenehergu V'Shenishchetu Shenechneku V'Shenikberu Chayim Shenisrefu V'She'unu ילדים וזקנים, נשים וגברים, מורי דרכים עם פשוטי עם, אנשי אמונה ותורה ומורדים וחומים, המאהבים והנימים בחייהם, ובמותם לא נפרדו, וגם עדן תה מנוחתם, ובאנו נודרים צדקה בעד הזכרת נשמותיהם. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמותיהם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וימלכו בשלום ומשכבותיהם ונאמר Amen. God, who is full of compassion, even when you seem beyond the highest heavens, find a perfect rest with your protecting presence, where the holy and pure ones shine as the bluest sky. For all those who were killed in the Shoah, who were killed and who were murdered, who were suffocated and buried alive and burned and suffered, children and older, women and men, teachers and others, people of great faith, people who were rebels, people who were dreamers. They were beloved in their lives and not separated from each other or from us in their deaths. May they find rest together under divine protection as we dedicate our lives to living in the light of their deaths. And after the Shoah, we pray that they find rest and peace, and we all together can say,
Not too great.
you can light, Cheryl.
Oh, I've lost you now.
Hands keep going up.
Naomi's pretty quiet.
What was that? I know you love me.
I think in all kinds of ways it would be appropriate for us to be able to hear each other say the Kaddish with the clash of how it will sound as we try to hear each other. That's so important for us to say it together and to try to hear each other's voices and to say Amen. So I'm going to allow people's microphones to be on, and although if you've got something distracting behind you, you can mute it out and say the Kaddish together. Yitkadal,
I'm muted right now, so I have to be quiet for a second.
Where's Debbie?
We usually conclude the ceremony with Hatikvah. Cheryl, do you want to say any last words?
This is an observance that we will remember. I really appreciate everybody who came to this event, and I think it's really important that we connect and observe this every year, and it just the evidence is there that we're not going to forget. We're just not going to forget.
For all of us, I want to say thank you to Cheryl for your continued dedication and for putting this together in a new way in a short period of time. to Ruth, of course, and the Eisenbergs and the Ellenbergs, the whole family, to Sister Paula for being able to join us, and to the choir, and to Julie, to Becky, and then to Jed for putting all of us together, and all of you put your voices. I think we all have all these feelings of appreciation for all of you. I will lead us in Hatikva, which we can sing together, each in your own way, in your own place, and then we'll turn the microphones on. And after a few minutes, those who are staying, we will say our evening prayer, our Mariv service, and all are welcome to enjoy. Kol od balevav lenima nefesh Yehudi
Omiyah Atem Yisrael Adima Ayin Yotziyah Sophia Od lo avda tikvatenu Atikva yoter chaim Liyotam choshim be'artzeinu
Eretz Sion Yerushalayim
Liyotam choshim be'artzeinu Eretz Sion Yerushalayim.
Oh, I love that one.
Skip to
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you very much, honey.
Oh, excuse me.
You know how much
Hi.
that means to me.
Go back over to your painting table, please, with your paint Only, we only paint on, no, hon.
Oh my gosh, excuse me, that's a no, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Did you paint on there,
Everyone.
honey?
Bless you,
You
Ruth.
are not allowed to paint on anything except the paper, right? So if you
My
paint on
goodness.
something other than the paper.
Hey, Shirley.
Hi, sweetheart.
Carolyn,
Good to see you.
Hey, honey, where do we paint? What do we paint on? What do we paint on? Paper, right?
Oh,
Paint
Marty,
on
you went by so fast.
Do we paint on the chair?
Where are you, Marty?
No. Do we paint on mommy? No. Sasha? No, that's a no.
Listening to
Hi,
this.
Marty,
That's a
where
no.
are
Do you
you?
want to go on the plate in the playpen?
Hi, Shirley.
Oh,
Hi, honey.
I think you're not listening to mommy.
Hey, Shirley.
So guess what? Oh no.
The way to
You're
do
gonna
it.
have to go in the
That
playpen.
beautiful girl.
You're going in the
There you go.
playpen.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're going in the playpen.
Who's
Until you
that
tell mommy
gorgeous
where that you only paint on the paper.
Ah,
Right? All right, I'll let you share it on the floor. You have one floor. You know what? You could tell mommy that we only paint on the paper, love. I know, I'm sorry that mommy's been.
It's Julie. Hi, Julie.
Marty, hi.
Hello, Shirley.
Hi, Marty. You know, it's such a
How are you
heartbreak.
doing?
A heartbreak losing 8 members of my family.
Yes, I
That
know.
reminds me, it doesn't have to remind me, it's my heart all the time. And Jeannie, you look great, honey.
On Monday for sure.
Can you hear me, Jeannie? Jeannie?
We can all hear you.
Yes, I can.
Good, good. There you are, the sweet face.
Elliot, thank you so much.
Oh, and
Hey.
here she is, the traveler. Hi.
Oh, look who's home.
Oh, and isn't this wonderful? I see everybody that I love. Ah, that's
Me
great.
too.
Oh, yeah. Ricky, where are you, honey?
I can't get my video on, but I'm here.
Well, that's all right. I can hear you,
Hi,
sweetie.
Shirley.
Ricky, I love you, dear.
Hey, Julie. Thank you.
Oh, this is such a good picture. Who's in back? Oh, there you are. You look wonderful, kids.
Hi,
But
Shirley.
you know what happened today? They just came to tell me that this place just got the virus.
I'm sorry, Shirley.
But they're home, and they're home, but you know, she didn't tell me who it was. We were doing so well, and now it just scares me to death.
Just one on the Huntingtons.
But
What is it?
whatever will be, what can we do? Just can't get out anymore, not even to breathe outside.
Wow.
So for us who are here still,
Somebody's
going
on the
to
Rabbi, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you so much for arranging everything.
Thank you to a lot of people. We're gonna begin our service, and so I'm gonna put the prayer book on the screen. Stay, and we'll dive.
Oh, okay.
Shrei Yoshvei Veitecha.
Puts it up here.
Okay.
Somebody's davening now.
Hilat Adonai Yedaber Pi Vivarech Kol Basar Shem Kod Shel Olam Va'ed Va'anachnu Nevarech Ya Me'atav Yad Olam.
Hallelujah.
Corners Yitkadal
Yitkadash Shmei Rabba Yomad Yavrach Keversei Malchusei Chon V'Yomechon Aye Kol Beis Yisrael Yishmei Rabba Arach Leolam Yomei Omaya Yishar V'Yisramal V'Yitnaseh V'Yisalach V'Yikedusha V'Yirchu Shalom Mikol Nefasa Anisa Kam B'Yomo V'Yamru Amen Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya Naim Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael Amru Amen Oseh Shalom B'Marimav Huyas Shalom In V'Yakol Yisrael Amru Amen Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamrach Le'olam.
Chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Ahavatcha al tasir mimenu la'olamim.
Amen. Yisrael Adonai
Excuse me. Hi. Where do we paint on? Where do you paint on?
Yeah, Larry also. Larry's a good voice.
Yes.
Ani Adonai
Baratzon kiblu alehem, Moshe v'nei Yisrael anu shira, v'simcha rabba v'yamruchu laham, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Mika mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osei feleh, Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, Bokeya yam lifnei Moshe, Ze Elianu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו אדוני.
Yes, darling. What?
I want to go back to the gym.
I want to go down and see my granddaughter.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, שומר עמו ישראל לעד. That's a כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי עד תמלוך לכבוד, כי אין לנו מלך אלא אתה ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך בכבודו תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ועל כל מעשיו. יתגדל ויתנבא שמי רבה.
Amen.
וימלוך מלכותי בחייך ימי ציון וכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובצפון קריב
Shmei Rabba
Darby Talavi Talal Shemedi Kud Shabu Birchata Bishira Kalchata Avana Kamatana Randiama. A few minutes for our own prayers quietly ourselves, the Amidah in our own way or through the prayers of the Siddur. way we observe days like today, Yom Hashoah, that's been, it remind us that we can do two things at once. We can think about the whole, we can think about numbers like 6 million, and we can think about the numbers that we're seeing every day of people who are sick and who are dying. And just as on Yom Hashoah, we think about the individual stories and the individual names, and whether those are names of people who died and people who survived and people who rescued. We think now in our times, it's an important reminder to think about the individuals who are sick and in need of healing, and the individuals who are healers and heroes in our time. So each night, because we've been gathering this way, unusually because of the pandemic, we have a chance for people who would like to say out loud a name of someone who needs healing, or someone who is a healer who needs blessing and strength in their way, to say that out loud for us, or to say that to yourself. Yishaberach Avotenu, Abraham, Sarah, Yitzchak, Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech V'Yarpeh Et Kol HaCholim, B'Mishpachotenu, B'Ein Chavereinu V'Yedidenu, B'Keilah HaKdosha Hazot, V'B'chol HaKehilot, V'Et Kol HaOskim B'Tzorcheihem, V'Refuatam. May the one who first made healing known in response to suffering to our ancestors bring a blessing of healing to everybody who is in need of healing, among those we know, in our families, our friends, this community, and all communities. And also the blessing of healing and of strength and support to everyone who is engaged in healing and taking care of the needs of the sick in every way. If anyone would like, we can hear names from one another.
Kayla Worden. Thomas Gill, Ben Friedman.
Jacob Bartenbach.
Michael Serkenpool.
Penina Batsara.
Sarah Bat Abraham.
Betty Burpee.
Almost the end of it.
Among the healers, my niece Carly Rosemore and my nephew Andrew Tanini.
Nathaniel Ben Leah Avner.
Ellie and Zachary Lehman, Andreas Recker, Camila Romero.
Baruch Hu, Umalei Rachamim Aleihem Lahachazikam Ulahachayotam Ularaputam. Vishlach Lahem Nehera Refuah Shlema Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'Tok Sha'ar HaCholim Ulachol HaOskim B'Refuah V'Tzorech HaCholim Kadosh Baruch Hu Yishlach Bracha V'Atzlacha B'Chol M'Chatzei Yadeihem. We ask that the blessing of divine healing be concentrated on everyone whose names we've said and heard out loud or to ourselves, along with everybody who is sick and in need of healing. And through all of those we've remembered and recalled right now, to ourselves and out loud to our healers, the blessing of strength and healing flowing through them. And we say together, Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yitgadal v'yitadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Tev amot malchutev v'chon v'mechon v'chei v'chol Beit Yisrael ha'adala u'bizman kariv v'hu Amen.
Amen.
Yehi
Shmei Rabba
Rabba
Barak V'Allah V'Omer.
Tev yitadar v'yitadar v'yitalal shem v'yidshad v'yitzavim kol birchata v'shirat ha'chishkat
Amen.
Araba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachon Yisrael v'inu Amen.
Amen.
Elohim Ramav v'ya'as Moshe aleinu v'yachon Yisrael v'inu
Amen.
We are counting the Omer again. Our way toward Mount Sinai and toward the Torah that we need so much. So we can say together the kavanah, the focusing that's in the middle of the page in English, and then the blessing in Hebrew and English. And then we can count the next day, which will be the one after 12, which is the one we counted last night. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as it is ordained in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. Baruch atah Adonai Elohinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al svirata omer. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, instilling in us the holiness of mitzvot by commanding us to count the omer. Hayom shlosha asar yom, shehem shavua echad v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is 13 days, 1 week, and 6 days of the Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adamah, shelo samchokenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu k'cho hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Winners Kaddish.
Yiskadav v'yiskadash shmei rabba.
Amen.
Yoma devroch v'rsei v'yamlich machusei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol b'is Yisrael hagolo v'zman kariv v'imru amein. Yehi shmei rabba v'yarab v'yolam u'mei Yisparach v'yistavach v'yispar v'yisramam v'yisnaseh v'yisadar v'yisalev v'yishalach shemei dikitsho v'rachu Eilon b'chol birchoso v'shiroso tushbechoso v'nechemoso amirom b'yoma v'imru amen Yehi shlomo v'rabba min shemayo V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'brama, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
On of the coming day.
Oh, no. That was the dog against the door.
Oh.
Are you still okay? Nirana Ladonai Nari Elixir Ishenu Nekadmafana Betoda Izmirot Nari Elo Ki El Gadol Adonai Gadol El Kol Elohim. Include with the Kaddish. Gadol.
V'kadash me'rabah.
Amen.
Shalom devrach v'rsei v'yamlich machusei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol ish Yisrael hagolot v'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen. Rabba,
Shalom
Amen.
Chaim Oleinu v'Yakol Yisrael Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Bromam Hu Yaseh Shalom Oleinu v'Yakol Yisrael Imru Amen.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Everybody. Yasher koach, Rabbi. And everybody.
Gerald, thank you again so much.
Thank
Gerald,
you.
thank
Evie.
you so much.
Philip, you look
Love
just
you.
like your mom.
Do I?
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
No.
And Elliot, you look just like my father. Where are you,
What about-
Elliot?
Yeah.
Elliot, where are you?
Like,
He's there. He's there.
we're here, I'm right on the computer.
You're right on the
Just like
computer.
my father.
Oh, my beautiful
Yep.
kids.
Ah, sweet. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us all join with you in commemorating this
Yes.
important day.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Love
Thank
all.
you.
It was very, very neat.
Very nice.
Be well,
Yes.
everyone.
Wonderful, both of you.
We'll see you all soon.
Have a good night.
Good
Laila
night.
tov.
You as well. Laila tov.
Good night. See you in a week.
See
See you
then.
tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, why not? We always do it every day.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do it again tomorrow.
No, well, no, we do Marav every night.
Oh, yeah, together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it from my shul here.
Okay.
So
All
if I
right.
wanted,
Yeah,
if I
take
like
your
it, join you
computers.
too. I think every shul in the whole world is doing this.
It's a good thing. Be well.
It is.
Nice.
Take care. Be
Elliot,
safe, everybody.
Ellie, you spoke beautifully.
Night, everybody.
Yes, Ellie.
What, Rabbi?
Spoke beautifully.
Yasher koach, Rabbi.
Elliot,
Yes, Evie,
sorry, did you see the video I sent you yesterday?
I did. Thank
Oh, you saw it. You answered me, yeah.
you.
Did you recognize the pictures of my mother and her brother
Yeah.
and her father?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
anyway.
thought that all day today.
Okay, take care of yourselves, everybody.
Love you. Bye, Evie.
See you soon. I love you too.
Love you too.
That was really good.
Something else to worry about.
My dad is up in heaven smiling down at us.
Oh, good.
They're lucky they were alive.
We were so I'll get you the recording, Elliot. I did record it.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great because I'll talk to Ruth and see if what she'd like to do with it. Maybe she can use it at where she volunteers at the museum there.